Hello, this is Judy Mario, and this is the World of Book Reviews. And tonight I have an incredible guest. You're going to so enjoy him. His name is Chef Keaty, and I met Chef Keaty recently at an event where he was speaking, and he was such an exceptional speaker. I went out to meet him, and then I got his book, and I wanted to share this book with you because it's really great. It's from the Living Superfood series, and it's called Longevity, Mastering the Possibilities of High-Quality Life Extension. And I got so fascinated with this book that I wanted to have you know about it too. Chef Keaty, welcome.
Judy Mario, what a beautiful name, what a beautiful person. What an honor it is to be with you today.
Thank you, thank you. So tell them a little bit about the book, because there's so much in it, I don't even know where to start with it. You've done amazing amounts of research.
I was born the academically advantaged son of an industrial chemist. My father was the most amazing man one could ever meet. He was a master hunter, a fisher. He built his own home. He raised himself and his entire family up out of a poor sharecropper's family in the South. And one of the advantages that I got from my father, he put a library into our home at a very young age. I discovered my father's college textbooks. Actually, learning to speak French from my father's college textbooks before I got in elementary school.
Amazing.
So this academic engagement carried me through my entire schooling years. And believe it or not, even though I was an honors student all through school, I never did go to college. I didn't enroll in college. Lucky me, I lucked up, some might call it dumb luck. I was working in a biological research laboratory a year after graduating high school. I was a cryogenics technician, which is a fancy way of saying I was a sperm freezer. So this love for science has carried with me through all of my life. I actually left the laboratory for 30 years in the entertainment industry as a recording artist and such, but I never could leave this love for biology, love for science behind. So to make a long story come full circle, I found myself about 25 years ago starting to write more and more sophisticated books. The health field became a particular fascination of mine. It led me to a whole series of books. And this one here was really one of my crowning glories. The pursuit of longevity is a science, but it's also part of living. It's fun. And I hope people get that fun and science combined in this book, Living Superfood, Longevity.
Yes, yes. One of the things I found fascinating about this book was you were talking about the hormones and what an important part they play in our health, and how food affects that. So tell us a little bit more about that.
The body is the most amazing machine we could ever imagine. The only machine I can think of more complex than the human body is Mother Earth herself. The human body is a combination of 15 different systems. We have the glandular system, which is the hormones. We have the nervous system, our electronic communications, muscular systems, circulatory systems, immune systems. Of all of the systems of the body, the glandular system is very, very important with regard to our long-term sustained health, our viability, our youthfulness. For most women, their hormones begin to shift really by about the age of 30. And so their fecundity or their fertility period starts to shut down. Then there are those changes of life where hormones shift dramatically. And for men, it's a little bit later age, but our free testosterone level starts to drop when they're about our mid-30s. Some guys think it's still going on till they're in their 50s and stuff, but they're just fooling it. But what we find, though, is that there are a spectrum of external factors called endocrine disrupting chemicals that exist in this environment, which is so dense and rich with these disruptors now. It's never existed in the whole history of human evolution. And so now we need to understand these processes, understand how we can compromise the integrity of our health by being susceptible to these endocrine disruptions, and then use every smart thinking process we can put into place to maintain our youthfulness, to maintain the integrity of our skin and our eyes and all of our internal organs. The miracle is is that we're living in an age where the life sciences are giving us longer and longer high quality longevity.
Right.
And as you know, Judy, that's what this book is essentially about.
That's amazing. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. And so join us in just a few moments.
Thank you for calling Denim Revival.
Hate to say goodbye to your favorite jeans? Well, now you don't have to, because Denim Revival is here for you. Mail us your jeans and our professionals will fix it right up. We offer you all kinds of alteration services, including invisible repairs, let-outs, taperings, and original hemming, or even have your own custom-made jeans. Quoted the best denim repair shop by GQ, Vogue Magazine, and LA Times. Denim Revival, your search for alteration and repair ends here.
Welcome back. We are at the World of Book Reviews, and tonight we're talking with Chef Keaty about his wonderful book, Longevity, which is a part of a fabulous series on living superfoods. And Chef Keaty, tell us a little bit about superfoods. What are the superfoods?
Superfoods. What do superheroes eat?
Superfood?
Superfood. You know, when we think about Spider-Man, he gets his power from spiders, or Batman, bats. He doesn't eat bat food.
He doesn't eat bats.
Superman, we don't know what he eats. The only superhero we ever knew what they ate was Popeye the Sailor Man. And when we talk about Popeye, I fight to the finish because I eat my spinach. Mm-hmm. But then again, there was much more in that Popeye cartoon. It leads us to this dialogue of what do superheroes eat. Remember, his girlfriend, he always used his superhuman strength, which he got from eating his spinach, to save his woman, whose name was Olive Oil, slim, and she didn't have any babies, so that was extra virgin olive oil. And he was not eating wimpy food, because all Wimpy ate was hamburgers, and he never fought to save. There were so many stories woven in that. Now when we think about what do superheroes eat, I think about my heart. And my heart, how it beats from 4.1 to 4.4 billion times during a person's lifetime. How it pumps 730,000 gallons of blood every year without me even thinking about it. That sounds like a superhero to me.
Yes.
The pancreas, the liver, the kidneys, all of these body organs, the brain with the billions of neutron reactions per second. These are superheroes. So what do superheroes eat? In our world, they eat superfood, they eat living food. We found that there is a difference when food has its own resonance still intact, when we're not eating death. They say you are what you eat. I hope that's not true, because if that's true, there's a lot of people who are dead meat.
Ooh.
So superfoods are what we use. These are foods known to have the densest amount of nutrients, the most bioavailable spectrum of nutrients. So using this system, which technically is called full spectrum hypernutrition,
Yes.
what we find is this body machine was designed to repair itself. But it has to have the right fuel. If we treated our bodies and the fuels it needs, the fluid it needs, the way we would treat a luxury automobile like a Mercedes-Benz, then we would expect what we expect to get out of treating that Mercedes-Benz right.
Right.
We'd expect longevity and high performance. That's what superfoods deliver.
Well, you know, a few years ago when I had cancer, the doctor that I went to was a naturopathic doctor, and he put me on a raw foods diet, pretty much. So I was eating predominantly vegetables that grow above ground, because he said the vegetables that grow below ground have a very high sugar content, and that cancer loves sugar, so he wanted me eating green leafy vegetables.
It sounded like you had made a very wise choice about who you would trust your long-term health to.
Yes.
And I congratulate you on that, Judy.
Yes, so are you in agreement with that about eating the...
I definitely do agree. We do know that our bodies have a natural affinity for things that exist in the natural element. I am absolutely convinced, and this is very much an important part of my system, that the equator, that part of the planet where the sun shines the most direct down onto the foliage,
Right.
this equator gifted that part of the planet with a density of nutrients, as well as protective systems A plant that grows up in a dense equatorial rainforest has to not only absorb all of this photoelectric energy, but it also has to protect itself from the spectrum of would-be pathogens that might enter it. So we find that these plants that grow in these dense environments have very strong natural immune-enhancing components in them. So in my system, we use a lot of the equatorial foods. I love the cuisines from Thailand and Ethiopia and Brazil and Africa and India. And of course, there's much that we can learn from the East Asian diets, which are rich in sea vegetables and a number of other herbs and things. We put it all together, and then we can answer that question: what do superheroes eat?
I love it. Well, one of the things that was so important in my diet was the spices. And when you mentioned the foods like the Thai food and the Indian food and from the Far East and so on, the spices that they use in their foods seem to be very healing.
Very healing. In Living Superfood, there are certain spices we advocate people incorporate into your daily diet. The 4 champions are turmeric, which is a very powerful immune enhancer. Ginger, which is competing with turmeric to be the most powerful immune enhancer. Cinnamon, which helps us to regulate our blood sugar so that we don't have problems with insulin uptake and diabetes and hyperglycemia, as well as cayenne pepper. And the capsaicin in the peppers helps to move inflammatory fluids, mucus, out of the body and keep the gross problem of inflammation from taking over our long-term health.
That's interesting. I was reading the other day in a book, I think the name of the book was The Universe Inside of You, and it was talking about the difference in peppers. And it was saying that your chili pepper has more capsaicin. Is that how you say it, capsaicin?
Capsaicin, I believe.
Capsaicin.
Or we can meet in the middle.
Okay. Well, it says that the chili pepper has more of that than any of the other peppers. And so therefore the chili pepper is more healing.
That's right. And what it does is it moves the mucus out of the way. You think about it, when you get that pepper burn, it immediately causes fluids to start moving. And those fluids are mucal fluids, which your body uses to protect itself. And what we find is by moving these fluids out of the way, now we've cleared up a lot of energy, and we use that energy for healing.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much. We're going to be right back with you in just a moment. We have to take a quick break. So we're taking a quick break now, and we'll be back with Chef Keaty for more of his interesting knowledge in just a moment.